speaking of the divided country, of course, the latest example of that is these riots that have been occurring, protests more to the point in Louisville, Kentucky, post that Breonna Taylor decision where none of the officers involved were found criminally liable. Nicholas Uzel is a general manager of the Joy Luck restaurant in Louisville. I think, Nicholas, your restaurant has been closed over the last couple of nights. You still planning to keep it closed tonight?
We've actually not been closed. We've just been closing down earlier to comply with the mayor's curfew here in Louisville.
What have you seen? How's your restaurant holding up? Those around you? How's everyone doing?
After that initial little bit, we've been holding up well. Everybody's kind of business back to usual and keep on going around and hope for the best.
When you do close ahead of the curfew, how do people even feel about the curfew? That robs you of a lot of business that I'm sure is a busy time as well. So how do you balance that?
Well, with COVID, we've shortened our hours anyways, just because people haven't been coming out as late. So thankfully, the curfew has not really affected us too greatly.
Any damage to either yours or other facilities, stores in the area?
There's a paint store that had a window busted out. A gentleman that's got a small business for shaved ice, they busted his window for the second time now this year. And just a couple of glasses on our patio. We escaped most damage, thankfully.
Now, I know that the governor, has accepted help from the president in terms of guardsmen in the area. I don't know if they're going to be sort of ever present tonight, but do you like that idea?
Yes, I like that idea, especially downtown, considering that's where they're staying right now. This was just the initial group of people after the verdict was released on what the grand jury decided and with the attorney general.
It occurs, as you said, with the virus at I'm sure, dicey time for you, Nicholas, and the restaurant and on shop owners in the area here. But it does seem that compared to other outbreaks that we've had or protests that we have, that they're decidedly calmer so far. But you're right there. What would you say?
Yeah, this was just interesting that it happened in the middle of broad daylight. Most of these protests have only started getting violent towards the evening, but this one was somewhere between 3 and 3:30 in the afternoon. As you can see from the video, everything's wide open, like bright and daylight.
I've heard reports, Nicholas, and I get there by these. You're there, you know far more than I, of outside groups coming in, of what they call appointment protesters who have nothing to do or have no connection to Louisville. Do you know anything about that, or whether others are sort of stirring the pot here?
I can't confirm that, but based on the actions, the Highlands is fairly sympathetic to their views. It's more of a liberal location here in Louisville, and everybody there has the same thought of not agreeing with the verdict. So I want to say it's really outside people coming through the Highlands and destroying it, because I know the community and the locals wouldn't want to do that to us.
All right, so the curfew, I believe, Nicholas, is going to run right through the weekend. I assume then that they would look to, if things go well, lift it come Monday. Is that your understanding as well?
Yes, that's my understanding as well, that it was just a 72-hour thing from the releasing of the verdict.
All right, Nicholas, I want to thank you very, very much. I hope I get back to business and get back to everyone peacefully trying to get through this together. And then Nicholas Uzel, he's the general manager of the Joy Luck restaurant in Louisville, Kentucky. All right, we're still waiting.